What is your name and what is your diagnosis?
My name is Aziza Rose. I have depression, anxiety, borderline bipolar disorder. I have ADHD. I have, what else do I have? Oppositional defiance disorder. A whole host of other issues as well. I think that's about all I can name at the moment.
How long have you been struggling with your mental health?
I have been struggling with mental health since I was about 13. My first instance that I can remember was when I just started self-harming, because I did not really feel like I was worth anything. I felt like my life was useless. I didn't feel like I had a purpose. And since then, it's been a downward spiral. But it's starting to go back up again. Starting to. Slowly but surely. But any progress is progress.
Is there anything in particular over the years that has fueled those negative mindsets or those negative values of yourself?
Oh, where do I start with that? I'll say probably the number one issue is my mom. She is extremely toxic and narcissistic. I've been dealing with her narcissistic tendencies since I was about 14. And then it kind of progressively got worse as life events happened. When I was 15, 9 days away from being 16, I was raped at school. And the school did nothing about it. My mother did not and still does not believe that I was actually raped. I have been sexually assaulted by a coworker, sexually, mentally, and physically abused while I was in relationships, and taking abuse, physical, mental, from my mother as well. So I've been kind of all over the place with abuse and life. But yeah, I think it really started when I was either 13 or 14.
So you mentioned self-harming. Would you like to talk about your scars and about the different tattoos that you have associated with trying to overcome all of the obstacles that you've been facing?
Sure. So this was actually my first tattoo that I ever got. I was 19. That was very shortly after I'll say my last serious suicide attempt. For those of you who don't know, this semicolon is for suicide survivors. Because when I was in 11th grade, I was 16 turning 17 years old. I was in and out of psychiatric hospitals for suicide attempts for 3 months. I spent 1 month, which was 33 days, too long, in a residential program in Chattanooga. And it really means a lot to me because the fact that most of those times I was actually attempting to kill myself. I would not be here today. I wouldn't have met the people that I've met and had the experiences, been able to finish high school or college. And now that I am here, I'm starting to see that I'm glad that I didn't. Even if it is a hard road, it is a road and there is a destination. Oh, and then this one is for, it's kind of an extension of a symbol. I think the symbol is just like that one. And then my tattoo artist made it longer. But it's for sexual assault survivors. I got that, I believe it was 2019 or 2020, one of the two. In 2018 is when I was sexually assaulted by a coworker. And so I kind of got that as a reminder to myself that it's going to be okay. And that's also why I got this one too. It says, we'll be all right. And that's because I know that no matter what I'm going through, I am going to be okay. I love all of my tattoos. I kind of say this is my serious arm and this is my fun arm. But my serious arm is probably the one that means the most to me, just because of the actual meaning behind my tattoos. And even this tattoo was actually to cover self-harm scars, because they were very prominent and that's not necessarily something that people want to see. That it makes people uncomfortable, and it kind of made me uncomfortable, to be honest. Mainly because that's not really something I want to be constantly reminded of, the bad times in my life. So I got this tattoo to cover it up, and it's been a great resource, even just looking down at it and just seeing, oh, I am a survivor. And then I even put the semicolon in the survivor to kind of tie both of those together. So, yeah.
So how do you cope?
I am in bi-weekly therapy. It used to be weekly, and then I kind of got into a position where I don't have to go every week. So just let you know, you don't have to go every week to therapy. You can even go monthly. Just please go to therapy. I also use a lot of coping mechanisms, mainly coloring. Fun fact, when I was in kindergarten, I hated coloring, and I was in school suspension so much that was my punishment. They made me color. Yeah, it was a whole thing. They literally just made me color. I wasn't even doing classwork, coloring. And I usually do a lot of deep breathing throughout the day. I learned a lot while I was in the residential program in Chattanooga. A lot of that I kind of kept with me and still use. Mainly most of that was the deep breathing, because we had, I think it was every night we had to do like 10 minutes of deep breathing and meditation, and it was a lot. It was a lot. I think by the end of it, I was very lightheaded because of all the deep breathing I was doing, which I guess that just meant I needed more oxygen in my brain, which that probably would explain why I was in the hospital. But anyway, definitely a lot of coloring, deep breathing. I also remove myself from the situation. If there's like something going on, especially with my mom, I'll just go in another room or go somewhere else, go for a walk. Exercise helps me a lot too. And especially during the summer, I am a water bug. I'm a mermaid as well. So I'm always in the water during the summer, and even not during the summer when I can be in the water, I am. And that, because when I'm in the water, that's where I feel at peace. I feel happy, even if I'm just near water. Like I'm at the lake and can just sit there and listen to the waves crash or listen to a waterfall. That's just kind of where I know that I can breathe, relax, chill out, and not really have much of a care in the world, or at least for the time being. And then after that, I go back to reality. But for the time being, I love doing anything like outdoors, especially spring and fall, hiking, camping, kayaking. All of that is a lot of fun for me, and very helpful to my mental health, because otherwise I would probably not be here. I'd probably be in jail, to be completely honest with you. Probably be in jail for murder.
What advice would you give to other people that have been in our shoes or that are still struggling right now?
Just know it gets better. As my mom says, and this is gonna sound really weird, I guess, but ride the wave, because it doesn't always, you have to go back up at some point. Even if you don't feel like you're gonna go back up, you are. It gets better. Definitely go to therapy. Therapy has helped a lot. Even, and I know this might sound bad, just talk to a friend. If you need to vent to somebody, just talk to them, because that's helped me a lot too. Just going to friends and venting, chatting. Definitely use coping mechanisms for any and all, I don't want to say problems, but like anything that you're struggling with. Definitely also fidget toys. I have a fidget toy that I take with me everywhere. It's wonderful. I got it for like $6 on Amazon, and it's worked wonders. It's like a little like 8-sided cube thing, and I could just fidget with all the little different things. As you can see, I fidget a lot because you can see my hands going fidgeting. But yeah, definitely use those coping mechanisms. Use therapy as a great tool. And also with the therapy, find a good therapist. Don't find one that's trash. Don't go find one that will tell your mother everything like I did. Definitely just find one for yourself. And if you don't like this therapist after 2 or 3 sessions, switch. Find someone else. That's the best thing you can do for yourself, is have a therapist that you know, you trust, and you like. Yeah, I think that's about it.
So I just wanted to say thank you for doing this for me. Thank you for participating in the photography and for participating in the little mini documentary, basically. I really appreciate you being vulnerable and opening up and talking about these things, because it's not easy to face those things a lot of times. Even when we do so with humor, it still hurts sometimes.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you again for all of that. I appreciate it very much. Do you think that this has helped you on your journey as far as like talking to others and then knowing that your voice is going to get out there to help other people?
Absolutely. That's something I've been wanting to do anyway, just get my story out there so that maybe it can help someone else. Because what I went through, I basically went through alone, and I don't want anybody else to go through it alone.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Glad I could